Greetings, one and all. Welcome to a new weekend with a new deck. I think I'm behind schedule. My weekend kind of crept up on me. I had a whole bunch of special occasions. This month has like Mother's Day and birthdays and all sorts of stuff. And let's see. Landfall that always starts with the cheap stuff. Do we have a chance? Probably not. But we're going to give the old college try anyway. Alright, Formidable Speaker comes out. We'll get rid of one of these overprotects. And we'll go get Kona. Now all we need is a fourth land. We're playing a landfall deck. It'd be interesting to see if they miss their land drop for a change. Nope. Never miss their land drop. But they actually can't squeeze in an attack for a change. They can't exile stuff from my graveyard. That's not too important. And we missed our land drop. How about that? Who could have saw that coming? They pretty much know our game plan. Okay, play your land, right? Or are they going to do this first? Sacrifice. Okay. Gotta let them do everything first. Can't bounce them yet. I didn't expect them to put it on the other creature. How about that? Do you feel lucky enough? They're not going to attack. Let's go ahead and just throw that back up there. And Essence Scatter is fine. We'll attack in now. Still missed a land drop, so a couple of land drops missed in a row. On a deck that needs 6 mana normally to get its creature out. Hey, not a problem. The landfall deck is not putting out lands every turn. Might be the only reason why I'm alive right now. They don't have any cheating creatures out though, right? So they actually have to pay every time they want to equip that. Or no, does this the blah blah? Oh, this generates mana, doesn't it? No. I don't know how they did 2 of those. Oh, he powered himself. All right. We got you. We swing in for the attack. I can't really afford to wait to get 2 more lands to cast Overprotect on Kona, but they might have a way to kill it. I need a way to tap it. Kind of wanted to attack right now. Oh, that's even better. Alright, we get that. We finally get to attack. I'm really only going to have a chance to win this because the opponent messed up. Because now that Kona's tapped, we can bring down the Gruff Triplets. And then we can protect them, and we can still stop any new creature from coming down. Like that one. As if the Mutant Turtle cards weren't bad enough, they also have the different styles people like to use, so it's harder to read them. Now we don't care if they attack. We've got some nice chump blockers. And, of course, we have Overprotect. Here we go. Activated tokens cost 1 less to activate. Now they can do whatever they want. And let's see. 2, 4, 5, 6. I think we just go ahead and run some stuff in. Here, we'll keep one behind. They should want to kill the Kona. They're not going to kill the Kona, though. They didn't block anything else. Down to 3, and then they decide to quit. I guess we had fun. We beat a landfall deck. But I think they messed up in the way that they tapped all their stuff all the time. You know, if we're getting lucky, I'll take getting lucky. Before I do the deck breakdown, yeah, it's called Triplets Gone Wild. This is the final chance, last couple days of this pull. They banned Screaming Nemesis. I don't think they should have. I've got 4 different choices here of ones that I think should be banned instead. Enduring Curiosity, Kato Bane of Nightmares, or Buried, or Sheltered by Ghosts. So you can kind of see how it's going right now. Go ahead and get your comments in before it closes and before I move on to the next poll. If you don't like these particular choices, you can always go ahead and choose to leave a comment about some other card that you think should have gone on the ban list. But those are the 4 that in my estimation, were worthwhile. In the meantime, I like Gruff Triplets. It's a 3/3 Satyr Warrior. It costs 6 to get down, including 3 green, which usually means that they want you to play it in a monocolor. I mean, even if they do double green, that's kind of telling you, yeah, we think you might want to consider a monocolor to play this. When they do start doing the 3 and 4 of the same color casting costs, they really want to stress that this is something that to be reliable, to be consistent, you should play this in a single color deck. So I love absolutely all the time to prove them wrong. So it's a 3/3 temple creature. When it enters, if it's not a token, it gets 2 other tokens that are copies. Whenever it dies, the original or the token, put a number of +1/+1 counters equal to its power on each creature you control named Gruff Triplets. So the tokens are named Gruff Triplets too. And we just kind of got a little bounce package here. I don't like the airbend mechanic. It's too boring for me. It takes too long. So we just have 3 splash portals. Exile target creature controlled and return it. So we get rid of the original creature, exile it, bring it back, and suddenly we've got 4 of the tokens alongside it instead of 2. If we have to bounce one of our other creatures, if it's a bird, frog, otter, or rat, we draw a card, so we get draw card advantage out of it. We also have Unsummon. Unsummon could get rid of the opponent's creatures. As you saw, we got rid of all the landfall counters that one of the creatures had assembled there just now. Or we could just bounce the triplets again and then cast it later. To help us get it down before we get 6 lands, because the meta is so fast, we do have 3 copies of Kona Rescue Beastie. And I could have done some crafting of wild cards, but I always like to tie my hands a little bit, because I've been playing this game a long time. And I don't necessarily want to do things the easy way. I'm not afraid of busting out 4 mythic rare wild cards if I want to play a particular card and build a deck around a particular card. But a lot of what I do on cards that I get for the rest of my collection is I create and sustain this artificial limitation. Mostly to just show and demonstrate to all the others out there that are free to play, or that maybe have just started, you don't need to spend a lot of money to get everything that you need. You can just sort of use this as a limitation and still construct good decks. Like, for example, I finally got a second Aetherize. I've been playing this game forever. It's only dealt me 1 Aetherize. For some reason in my brain, I consider it cheating to use a wild card to get more of these, but I finally got awarded a second one. So now I have 2 Aetherize, and I feel invincible sometimes. Instead of getting 4 Rescue BCs and 4 Formidable Speakers, I only have 1 Formidable Speaker so far, so I'm relying on these 4 cards to go get me what I need. Formidable Speaker is 2/4 Elf Druid. When it enters, you can discard a card. If you do, you search your library for a creature card, reveal it, put it in your hand, and then shuffle. And so if I don't have Kona and I need Kona to tap and bring down a triplet, I'll do that. Or if I have Kona, and I don't have a triplet in hand, I'll go get the triplet. So this card is good for getting me either one of the things that I need next. What else do we have in here? We need some things that cause tapping. So I've got one copy of Avenda Waking Heaven. Going to use that. Enters tapped, but you can station. And so this is from Edge of Eternity. So remember, you just tap another creature you control. It gives it charge counters equal to its power. So Kona has 4 power. So we just tap station Kona, and we're good. I think that's the only station card that I have in the lands. And then I included one copy of Wormwall Sweeper, which is kind of a cheap, I think the cheapest spacecraft they have. You can station it for only 4 and it becomes a 2/2 flyer, which is handy in and of itself. Because primarily we're in green, and green doesn't have a lot of flyers, so this can kind of surprise the opponent sometimes. I've got one Smuggler Surprise. For just 3 mana, I can mill 4 cards, put up to 2 creature and or land cards from among the milled cards into my hand. Or I could put up to 2 creature cards from your hand onto the battlefield. So if Formidable Speaker is not enough, if the 3 Konas are not enough, but I do have Gruff Triplets in my hand, and I don't have 6 mana. Actually, I would still need 6 mana, right? Because you need the 4 generic and 1 green to plus it up, and you need the initial green. So I would still need 6 either way. But this would enable me to get 2 down at a time instead of 1. Also, if you have just 1, creatures you control with power 4 or greater gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. The initial one where you mill 4 cards, that could be a way to find the creatures if you're not getting them yet. I've got 1 Dowerport Mage. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control leave the battlefield without dying, draw a card. I like to have this out with the Gruff Triplets. Then I start bouncing the Gruff Triplets up, so I get card draw as well as getting extra token triplets. For 1 and a blue, you can return another target creature you control to its owner's hand. So this is, instead of just an instant to do it, this is something permanent on the battlefield that I could repeatedly use to put the Gruff Triplets back up. In the meantime, you notice here, Formidable Speaker, I could spend 1 to untap another target permanent. I can get into a bit of a loop here. I can untap the Dowerport Mage, return the Gruff Triplets to my hand, maybe go ahead and station Kona again, tap Kona, bring the Gruff Triplets down, and then maybe I could still have enough energy involved to do some more stuff. I don't know. But if there's a chance that I can go ahead and fire off the Port Mage first, untap it, and then power it off again. So, maybe I'm able to bounce this twice on a turn every now and then, if all the creatures manage to stay on the battlefield together. A little bit of protection. We've got 3 Essence Scatters to counter target creatures. We've got 1 Heritage Reclamation to destroy artifacts, enchantments, or get something out of a graveyard in case they have a Reanimator deck. 3 Overprotects. Might be 1 too many because I'm toying around with the idea of taking out 1 Overprotect and putting in a ramp card just to get more lands out faster. 2 Trigon Predators. So this is a combined green and blue creature. So it does have flying just because blue has flying, right? It's a 2/3. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you may destroy target artifact or enchantment that player controls. So I'm not just relying on 1 copy of Heritage Reclamation for enchantments and artifacts in the deck. We've got a couple other things in here that can address that. Some fun cards. I've got Zimone, all questioning. Legendary Human Wizard is only 1/1. But at the beginning of your end step, if a land entered the battlefield under your control and you control a prime number of lands, you get to create a token legendary creature. That's right, a legendary token. It's a fractal. It's called Primo the Indivisible. It's you put that many +1 counters on it depending on what prime number of lands you place down. Or just adding 1 or 2 lands, what prime number you end up with at the end of the turn. So let's say that I've placed 3 lands down, I cast Zimone, and then it gives me a 3/3 fractal. If I get a 5/5 fractal out down later, you have to replace it because it's a legendary token. So you can't have both of them in play at the same time. You got to pick one and save one. So remember, if you have a 3/3 and you're ready to get a 5/5, maybe tap an attack with the 3/3, and you don't mind if it dies because you're just going to get a 5/5. Or maybe station it at least, that kind of thing beforehand. The 2 Aetherize, of course, because 3 Essence Scatters is probably not enough. Return all attacking creatures to their owner's hands. You can see we don't have any board wipes. We don't have much in the way of anything you could call removal other than temporary bounce. So this is really thinly structured. 4 Lily Splash Mentors. 4/4 Frog Druids with Reach. For 3, we can exile another target creature or control, return it to the battlefield under owner's control with a +1/+1 counter on it, so we can get our Gruff Triplets back and it automatically becomes a 4/4. Got 4 of those to help us out if we can get a triplet down. Another fun card, I put in Oko the Ringleader. At the beginning of combat in a turn, Oko becomes a copy of up to 1 target creature control in a turn, except he has hexproof. So if I can make another Gruff Triplet out of him, I can get some more tokens. You can also do the draw 2 thing or create an elf creature token. For -5, each other non-land permanent you control, create a token that's a copy of that permanent. And my final fun card, the Legend of Kyoshi. Draw cards equal to the greatest power among creatures you control, then we can Earthbend. Earthbend X is the number of cards in our hand. That land becomes an island in addition to its other types. And then when you exile the Saga, you return it to the battlefield as a 5/4 legendary avatar, and lands you control have trample and hexproof. So kind of fun. I do have 1 Pit of Offerings to take out other stuff in their graveyard, and 1 Demolition Field to destroy their special lands. And I've got 1 Restless Vinestalk, green and blue. For 5, you can have it become a 5/5 plant creature with trample. And then whenever it attacks, you can turn one of their creatures into a creature that has base power and toughness 3/3. Or if you want, you could turn it on your own creature, like boost this guy up a couple power and make him a 3/3, that kind of thing. That's the deck. Triplets gone wild. Just using one of the creatures that I like. I've used triplets in a couple of decks before, but it's been a long time since I've used them. So I was missing them. Well, let's see what Arena throws at us next. This is kind of what we want. We've got an assortment of spells instead of duplicates of everything. We don't need to cast a 2-mana spell yet, so we can cast our tap lands first. If they recognize the Vinestalk, they might be worried about that for later. And they already got a 6/6 on the board. And green, of course, has a bunch of spells that can cause their creatures to do damage, so we might need the Overprotect soon. I can just kill the artifact now, right? They get to draw a card off of it, but we'll go ahead and do that. Take the action. We'll hold on to Essence Scatter, I guess. We wait for them to wake up and realize they can draw a card. It's prompting them right now. They could choose not to draw a card. I'm not going to use Essence Scatter on the elves. If they have another cheap spell, maybe I just wait and cast Aetherize on the Trudge. Would they still bring it down with whatever they have left? I don't have enough to Aetherize and Essence Scatter, is the problem. Well, we've got 2. We might as well use it. They can just bring it right back down. That does not help me yet, and I missed a land drop. Well, maybe we just have to double block the Trudge. This seems like an overpowered card. All you really need is 4 mana and you get a 6/6. That's a disgusting creature. I mean, we kind of hope they don't attack and we can just use Aetherize again. But we'll go ahead and sacrifice these guys. And we wait. I wish we hadn't missed the land drop, because we might have had a chance to get 6 lands. We could use both of these cards. That would really save us. Why did they get rid of the 2/3 instead of the 4/4? Now I can just use Overprotect, actually. Notice we missed our land drop again. So the deck needs 6 to work. Our opponent's already got 6 with no ramp spells. Well, I take that back. They had 1 ramp spell. Essence Scatter? Yeah, I think that's worthwhile to get rid of an 8/8. And now maybe they lose the Rampaging Ballast. Maybe they think that it's okay to come in with their Trample. And we're ready for that. I mean, I already cast 1 spell. They could trade with the Beast, maybe, right? Maybe I'd trade? Maybe that's what they're thinking? They are thinking hard just because I have 2 lands up. And I have 2 of my Overprotect cards, so I'm kind of slavering right now. I'm chomping at the bit for them to attack. I'm going to make them seem like I'm just going to take that kind of thing. I'm just going to take that kind of stuff. I can't do anything. Can't do anything with what I got. I'm just very weak and helpless over here. Not even blocking your 4/4. That's why they got rid of my creature that can get rid of enchantments and stuff like that. So they become 10. That's not a problem. But they do have card draw for that now. Look how hard they're thinking. They are keeping their Baloth back. They just lost 8, right? Okay, now you see what we got. What can you do? Land or spells to get some extra cards. And they've got more land than I do. Oh, their permanents have indestructible. That's nice for them. That's perfect timing for them, too. This is why they got rid of our flyer that could get rid of artifacts and enchantments. I only have 2 things that can deal against that. They didn't bring the Baloth against me. They don't have Trample. What can we do here? We can search for another creature card. About all we can do. They're creating copies. What do they have that can create copies, though? First time you create 1 or more tokens. Oh, there we go. So they're going to create a token of the wall. But that's legendary, so they lost the original one. I don't know that I have enough chump blockers to keep my life up. The Ballast is indestructible. They're still not bringing him on through. Let's lose one of those. Now they give me the land. Okay, that goes away. Now things are not indestructible. We can also get rid of all of these chargers that are 4/4 on the next attack. We actually have enough energy now to do Overprotect as well. Alright. You control target opponent during next turn. During their next turn. Okay. So what do? Do you pass and do nothing? They're actually going to pass and do nothing. Okay. They got me. They can't do anything against the Predator, but all they have to do is run these in if they want. And then they got lethal damage next turn. The trick is they have to use my Aetherize. If they leave me the Aetherize, then they can't attack me next turn. But they could use that on my own attackers right now. We just gotta wait for them to realize what they can do. Right, the whole point is... Yeah, there we go. It seems to take them a long time to figure this out. We're just gonna let it play out. I've got one copy of this. They got rid of one of these. I was able to search another one up, but they had every single thing that they had in their strategy was involving artifacts, and they happened to get one of each one of everything that they needed at the time. And my second Ether Drift doesn't help when they use it against me. Wow, they're taking so long. Yes, you have an Ugin. We're very excited for you. I'm willing to sit things out for a certain amount of time, but if you're really just gonna draw things out and be that slow, it's different if you get excited and you know your deck and you're quick with it, and you want to show me what you can do. But if you sit there and take 20 seconds before you cast your legendary Planeswalker, there's something wrong with you. I'm not waiting around for that. I felt like I was always just one turn behind being able to do anything appropriate. But they knew they were facing blue, and they played around everything that I had in my hand pretty well. Normal number of cards. I'm never sure if I should really bring Formidable Speaker out if I don't have anything that I normally want. Because I need 2 different creatures. I only have 1 formidable creature to go get one of the thing that I need. So which thing do you go get? The expensive thing you can't cast yet, or go get the Kona first and hope to get in, draw into the others? We play untapped land so we can afford the Essence Scatter. Don't let them bring down the bunny. Don't need to... I can just scry. Lily Slash Mentor is good. It's an okay start. They're working off of 1 land? That was foolish. I wonder how few lands they have in their deck. We're not playing ranked. When I go into ranked, Arena loves to stick me with 1 land all of a sudden, no matter how many or few lands I have in my deck. But just playing standard, you gotta have some guts if you're willing to go into a battle with only 1 land. They must not have been a landfall deck. There's been a lot of news with Magic and Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast. Almost all of it has been negative, except, I mean, their stock's going up and they're making money. So if that's all that matters, I guess they're on a winning streak. But their secret lair that they did with the goblins was met with derision everywhere. And it seems like they're passing up a lot of money that they could get by keeping the scarcity a little too little. I get to avoid all of that because I don't feel FOMO. I wish they didn't give me Pit of Offerings in the opening hand. Blue can quite a bit still have flashback with a lot of stuff. Let's see. It comes in prepared, right? No, you have to tap 2 first. Okay, well, we didn't get a land, so we have to use what we got. Kind of waste the Pit of Offerings. Hopefully they don't have any, like, mill reanimate strategies in here. That's a problem for us. Getting 2 of the most expensive cards in your opening hand is not normally the best. But, you know, if we could go ahead and get a couple of lands and get Kona down, all would not be lost. There's an argument. I put down Splash Portal and used it because it gave me a potential card, and we missed our land drop. Alright, I'm a little bit tired of that, Arena. We're just going to go on to the next one. You gave me 2 6-drops and only 2 lands. I'm not facing... When they're putting down creatures that cheap, the game's only going to be 3 or 4 turns. We're not going to waste our time with that. That's a little irritating that Arena still does that every single day. There should be some programmable limit. Like, for the week, if you've played a certain number of games per week, there should be like an automatic adjustment to the program that just digs into the deck and gives you an extra land when it was going to land starve you at a certain point. Say, like, you know, you've been playing 5 days, we've land starved you 20 times. You know, that's the limit. You don't have to be land starved anymore for the rest of the week, even if it's only 2 days, even if it's just over the weekend. And our problem is that Arena now knows and understands what our deck is. They understand that we've got a little shortcut, that we don't need all 6 mana necessarily to cast our spells. We can get by on 4. So you notice they keep, even though this has a deck of over 160 cards still to draw, they're playing with 1 and 2 mana drops, so they're getting all sorts of cheap stuff right off the top. Alright, what do we want to do? I think we need green. We want to attack. They're not going to stop us. We get rid of the Enduring Innocence. It's going to come back. That's fine. And then we do Splash Portal. And now they can't attack with Healer's Hawk. And we actually still have an Overprotect in case they try and do something to it, like a Banishing card. 2 Healer's Hawks. Scared of you. They get their card draw out. 3 Healer's Hawks. Okay. You know what? Fine, we're going in anyway. Chump block. I don't even need to use Overprotect. Blocking again. We can still use the Overprotect. Oh, here we go. They are protecting their Enduring Innocence and protecting their card draw and increasing their health way too much. No. I think we can get by without having the 6th land just yet. Alright, if we say that we were done, that we don't have any more, will they attack with the flyers? I'm presenting myself with a nice little open target here, so my Predator can get through next turn. Now it's got to go after the Planeswalker instead. There we go. And it still kept all the protections, so we've got a problem. I guess we're doing this. We pass. I am playing some very conservative people these days.
Stand by my side, friend.
There's a nice class of opponents going on that they're not too eager to attack. And we're just getting more lands. Alright, let's go. Discard you. Let's just go straight for the triplets. And exile another creature and bring it back. And it's got Summoning Sickness, right? So we can't attack with it, but it's bigger than the 2 flyers they have now. And it's not tapped. Ah! Oh. Do they have a second board wipe ready?
My ally stands.
If I have a bounce spell, we're still good. It's Essence Scatter. If they have another board wipe, we're probably toast. Isn't it funny that they have all of these creatures and they just board wiped them all?
Your size belies your bravery.
Wow. Yeah, you know what? This is great, right? Because these all have trample. Let's bring you back down. I got a bunch of blockers again. And now I'm ready for their next creature from here on out. Oh, that's lovely. Create a 1/2 with lifelink, then creatures you control gain indestructible. How are they ready with everything they need every single time? It's like Arena found the perfect deck with the perfect spells at the perfect turn. No, they don't have enough to kill everybody. I'm going to have one left. Their life's going to go way up. We'll just pass the rest of the turn. We auto-pass. Let my one creature get all that. And what do they care if I have a 15/15? They can just attack for lethal. Sheltered by Ghosts gets rid of all of my creatures. Anything else comes in tapped. Can't stop that. Can't stop any of that. Do you have another creature? Thank you. Get rid of the Hidden Courtyard so they can't use that. Can still play our land. And now we're kind of stuck. Oh, look at that. They get to just return anything they want. What a coincidence. I should have used Essence Scatter on that. I've just kind of given up at this point. Because what are the odds I'm going to get the cards that I need now? I'll use it on that one. Yeah, this is interesting. Still 140 cards to go. Sheltered by Ghosts, one of the cards I want banned. Mythic Rare Planeswalkers. All this go wide stuff. And we get a land, of course, because look what our opponent got. And we spent the last few rounds complaining because we kept missing land drops. So what does Arena do? When I complain about missing land drops, eventually it decides to pay me back. No special land in here either that can turn into a creature. So I only put in one of those. Oh, another Mythic Rare Planeswalker. I should have known they'd have Elspeth Stormsplayer in there. This is actually... They're using a very common draw card shell.
Take my blessing.
I would need, like, Ether Drift or something. Oh, look! Another land! I'm so surprised. Yeah, more than 170 cards and absolutely everything they needed at every second to do whatever they needed. And even when I use Ether Drift and eliminate their whole army, their very next card just allows them to assemble an instant army. And their very next draw is a Planeswalker. This lets them boost them up to unimaginable levels. What a coincidence. I'm sure that was just my matchmaking rank. It was pure coincidence that they did that to me. It doesn't matter. We showed you how the deck works already. We already won with it. I'm just here to be abused by Arena for the rest of the evening. Does the tiger wake up? We're still waiting on the opponent to do something. I can't even play with the avatar that I have, my little pet. I do have, every now and then I've got to remind myself, because we've got a couple new subscribers, so I wanted to welcome you to the channel. But I do have a Patreon, and I added a change this year where you can choose my deck sleeve if you want to support the channel for just a couple bucks. You can choose my pet. You can choose just all sorts of stuff. Everything that's selectable, because I've blown all of my gold on all of the customizable features. Everything except card styles. And I've even started buying some land treatments, because some of the, like for even Murders at Karlov Manor, I like their stylized land designs. They always do a really good job on the art for the land. That doesn't have reach. It can gain reach for 2. Okay. Good to know. I think it just attack for 2. I want to wait till I have Kona or 6 lands. In the meantime, I have Overprotect. I want to keep energy open to use Overprotect. Unsummon should be good against that. Of course, they already have the sacrificed land. Yeah, you better believe that I'm just going to yawn against Landfall. Landfall is so predictable and boring to play against. The only question is, do they have an Overprotect or something to protect their Hydra? Another sacrificial land. Who would have thought? Who could have possibly anticipated that? They should have lethal in just any second now. And we wait. The system is having a hissy fit. Too much landfall? Don't kill me yet, Arena. There we go. You know in the old days when you had the Nintendo cartridge and it wasn't playing when you first put it in there and you were thinking, if I just blow on it, that fixes everything? I always go over to my cable modem and I jiggle some cords, and I don't know if that fixes anything or not. They could have Counterspell, or they could have a Fractal card. Yet another doubling card, like we needed that in the environment at the same time, Wizards. Thanks. Say goodbye to your 34-34. Am I just not going to get any more blues? There's no blue. Well, they're just going to cast a summon spell again, so... we'll wait. Gonna create some warriors instead. I've got my triplets, I just need one more land. That is a different card. That's another one that is arguably overpowered. Okay, it's tap land, but we're gonna have to stick with it. Look, they got a 34-34, and then they still get this mythic rare card with just the right number of lands. It's a little bit of a change up on the normal landfall deck, right? This is, at least they're adding in some Strixhaven cards. I already need my Ether Drift card. They're playing so slowly and carefully now after the one Ether Drift. They can't afford to bring this down now, though. They could have something that gives it Hexproof. They do not. Alright, we're just going to bring this puppy down. And we got to pray that's going to be enough. Up, they have the 2, they can give it reach. I forgot about that. There goes my flyer. And they can also just swing in with that death touch. Of course, they have another land when they need it. And they like their top card. This just... I think this is a little too much consistent value for the entire match. I'm kind of surprised they did that, but Wizards has been doing that quite a bit these last few years. Really kind of pushing things. Okay, we will... Actually... I want to kill... just that one. Just the one is good. It gives me 2 6/6s. And now we have Overprotect. Doubling season. I'm so surprised! Yeah, doubling season with Germination Practicum. The problem with this is there's no way to counter it, right? It's like having an emblem. It even places this right where the emblem would normally be. It gives you an emblem, and they gave us no way to remove emblems. Right? I don't know every Strixhaven card memorized yet, but normally if you're going to do something like give us a new threat, you also give us an answer to it. And it feels a little unfair when they do something like this and you're like, there's just no counter to that. And it has trample, and I can't bounce it. Thank you, Arena, again. I almost need to burn some wild cards and get 2 more copies of Ether Drift, don't I? I have a number of decks that are kind of like this. I'm getting into an awkward place because I'm constantly full with my 100 deck list. And I always have to delete one. But where we are, we're getting about halfway into the year. And out of the existing cards, I've created a number of different decks. All have different themes. They're all very fun to play. So it's really tough to choose which one to get rid of that I can't go back and play again. This is not the best. It's not best to have 2 Overprotects at the beginning. However, we have 3 lands, and we have the one that can station Kona. They gave us the most expensive card instead of a land. But whatever. We will surveil. Ugh, that's not land. Yeah, I'm going to take both of those. Could cost me the match. But I only have the one copy of Formidable Speaker. Don't want to use it yet. They're scaling already. I don't think we have enough time. Alright. We're going to put this down on the ground. I expect it to be killed, but we'll get rid of an overprotect. We'll go get the triplets. We'll go ahead and station this. Get us halfway towards the 2/2 flyer. Now we just need an untapped land. There goes my Wormwall Sweeper. That's going to be destroyed. And I think I'm going to be destroyed no matter what next turn anyway. I don't have anything to take care of the blocker. I would need a fourth land already and the Ether Drift or a bounce spell. I guess if I had a bounce spell, I might be able to chump block for a turn. But they didn't miss a single land drop. And I gambled trying to think that I would survive long enough. I can't really use this or they'll just sacrifice that and kill it, so... They got me pretty handily beat so far, I think. Ooh, see, look! Magic is teasing me again. They gave me the one spell I need, and we still didn't have enough land. I guess I should have really thrown that Kona away, at least the one extra Kona. It's a failing of mine. I hate to throw my cards away. I'm always trying to be hopeful that maybe Arena has structured the deal that they will give me what I need at some point. So when I sort of started talking about my deck list, I have another deck I played a little bit ago. It's been a few months. The red and green one that's Manifest, that has a whole bunch of big creatures in it. And it's got a number of spells that allow you to put the creatures in with the Manifest Dread, and then you can turn them over with an instant or with a creature. And it's geared so that there's enough good creatures in the deck that when I go to Manifest, I can get a good big creature out on the field. And the way that the draws are is just disgustingly bad. We're not going to bring anything down. We're just going to bounce Tifa. Depends on how powerful they get her. Let's see. Gets a counter. That's all they're going to do. I was going to make a deck with Ordeal of Nylea, but I don't think I have a single copy of this card yet. I may have to burn some spells if I want to do something. So we'll let it attack. Pass to blockers. Do you have a protection spell you want to burn? They do! It's just too bad I have 2/1 summons. It's a beast, so I don't get a draw card out of that. And I think I'm about ready to use Smuggler's Surprise just to go look for some lands. Or I guess I could look for a Kona. We really slowed down the landfall deck, didn't we? Just having 2 unsummons and their Snakeskin Veil didn't work made them really cautious. Just like the other 3 players that beat us by waiting a really long time. We have faced some very patient players tonight, so I can't blame Arena for anything. I am genuinely, in this format, I am not used to playing that many players in a row that are that patient. The landfall just gives up? I'm not used to that. Well, they do only have 3 lands out, so... Did the landfall deck get land starved? Three or 4 games. But that's not the same as me being able to demonstrate the deck necessarily. I mean, it is good that the unsummons alone kind of helps lead me to victory. It kind of shows you don't necessarily need your specific combo to work. If you do a good job in your deck construction, you should be able to have it work still and still pull out a win without your main combination. This is kind of bad because I got 2 expensives. But if I do get 4 lands and Kona can tap once... We're going to risk it again. I just need the computer to stop stalling. Every time... There's something strange with my cable provider. I don't know if I can change it at this point, but we have limited options here. But it's like every time a push notification comes to my phone these days, the connection to my desktop computer gets interrupted for a few seconds. And we missed a land drop. Are you kidding me? Arena! That is so not cool. Well, at least we get something out of Pit of Offerings. Alright, 1 more land. Actually, I think I'll go use Formidable Speaker to go get another Kona. They've got to have removal by now. I don't want them to just kill the Kona the second I put it out. But I don't think I can wait till I have 6 lands to cast an Overprotect to protect it at the same time. They might think that this is like a Kona Omnipresence? No, Omniscience deck, right? Kona Omniscience? I haven't bothered making that. It seems too boring in its own way. I don't think anybody wants to sit still once you have Omniscience out. So yeah, my Manifest Dread deck, it's amazing how inconsistent it is. Like, you want a nice variety of cards dealt to you. And instead I'll get like all of the instants that allow me to turn creatures over and none of the Manifest Dread cards. Or every time I manifest, it's manifesting the instants that I want to keep. Or things of that nature. Or it's manifesting 2 lands as my choices. So now they saw the Kona. If they kill it instantly, I'm hoping I get 1 more land so I can overprotect the next one. Because I still have to assume that one of these is going to be another removal spell. Although they might be tempted just to remove this right now. That's a good card. That doesn't have haste though, right? You know, the Affinity for Outlaws, they got that down for only 2 lands. That's good value. And now I can't block that. It's got Menace. Nearly dead. Did not get the land. It gave me a third copy of the most expensive card in the entire deck. And I'd have to spend a mana to untap. It's not like I can use it to untap another land and have Overprotect there for me. So again, just shy. The opponent did not miss a land drop. Exactly the right amount of removal that they need. And I need an untapped land just to survive. And there's no guarantee I'll survive. Oh, I can't. I can't because they can just kill me next turn no matter what. I don't have life gain in the deck. So, yet again, Arena made sure land starve me just enough, keep giving me the 6 drops. And this is the problem I have with my Manifest Dread deck and this deck. Is according to the probabilities, I should be doing better with my land draws. And I'm getting severely punished today. And I'm always just one resource shy of what I really need to do just to survive. And yet again, you know, for the last 5 years in a row, for people that have been watching, for most of these, the opponents are getting their land drops. There's been maybe twice today where maybe they were starved. We're going to surveil next. Fountain Port could be a problem eventually. We'll take our 1 copy of Formidable Speaker. Next, Zimone finally came out. We get to play with Zimone. That's nice. They're choosing to create creatures instead of pile up, so the bounce isn't going to be as good. We need Ether Drift now. It also looks like it's a mill deck. Okay, we got 2 creatures out. We've got Kona. We can go get the triplets. 2 Fountain Ports, huh? Cheap removal is ready. There's our land. Ooh, there's the triplets. We don't need to use Formidable Speaker. Let's get rid of one of these. If they sacrifice something, they're going to mill our triplets. They've got to pay for it to get to the 2nd level, though, first. They can't just sacrifice anything right now. And, well, if they do, they could sacrifice a token and draw a card. But if they paid for that, they couldn't get that to level 2 at the same time. Okay, so we're still good. We'll at least get the triplets in our hand, and we'll get Kona down. Did they... No, they want to kill Kona. Okay. So they did that right. Will they chump block with all 3? Or just 1? They're willing to make the trade there. Now they have a board presence and I do not. 3 Fountain Ports. Wow. Well, if they could endure, they could attack, get a token, and then still use the treasure to sacrifice the token and draw a card and start milling me. Is it that important for them to start milling me or not? Evidently not. Let's bring down you. This has reach. But the treasure can give them black mana anytime they want, so they have 2 black sources. If they do have removal, they should be able to get rid of anything in their way. And this is the one instance where Overprotect is sort of like a useless aura, right? Because we got down what we could, but we didn't have enough energy to protect what was left. Alright. We'll get rid of one of these. We'll go get another Kona. Would have liked to have had land at some point. But yet again, Arena is land starving us when we need 6 mana, and they're giving us the 6 mana creatures. And this is the kind of inconsistency. You know, we only have 4 of these in the deck, and we've got one other 6-drop. We really should get better variety than constantly getting 2 and 3 of these in our hand all the time in the early stages. I might do a little bit better if I could get one more stationing or a way to tap Kona into the deck. But they have the instant removal all the time, so it's kind of eh. Oh, that was food, not treasure. Okay. I forgot. I was thinking that was treasure for a second. They're milling themselves? Do they have reanimator cards? Might as well attack. They've got a source of life gain we know of already. So they're ready to counter the effects of the Sinkhole Surveyors, however many of those they have. They're going for it? Okay, we've got that. We'll put down somebody with reach. If they have removal, do we just save that for the removal? Their combination is basically set up. We'll get rid of one Fountain Port, I guess. Yet again, no land drop. I technically got all the green I need, so now we just go for blue. And we're relying on unsummons and overprotects because we can't do anything with the Gruff Triplets still. But the opponent got their land drop. We did not. That's going to be 4 to me. Ouch. that stuff happen. There goes my expensive card. You know, I don't want to untap something. I want to pass to blockers. We'll block that thing finally. Block that thing finally. Get rid of one of these. Take 1 point of damage. It's tapped. This gets rid of enchantments. And we can still play the Overprotect. Which we need against Lewis regardless. How many cards we got left? 33? Are you serious? Wasn't ready for that. I can't overprotect myself. All that time trying to get to 6 lands. We get our chores done, we level up. But they just, it's yet a different way Arena found yet another different deck configuration that managed to get around everything else we were doing. Okay, Daraport Mage appears for the first time. Mr. Landrop gave us the most expensive one again. My Manifest Dread deck is this way. This is the type of creature I would want to choose for Manifest Dread. It never gives me those. Well, it gives me them like 20% of the time. Alright, Daraport Mage comes down. How come the pets don't do anything? Like, my pet does stuff. These pets just sit around when you click on them. They don't do anything for you. What are they doing? Landed, landed, land. It's going to be a 5-color deck. Four colors already. Yeah, so we should see at least one island come out. And they're almost good to sacrifice the pizza thing. I feel like a mono-red aggro deck trying to race to kill them before they get their combo off. I get to draw a card off of that. Let's see. Less than or equal to... Put target card from a graveyard on the bottom of its owner's library. Don't have to worry about that just yet. I guess they just attack. Do they have a reanimation spell? Are they just going to bring that back? Artifact enters tapped. Okay, well, oh, this one, shuffle all non-land cards from the graveyard into the library and you gain life. Well, we could get rid of some lands at least. We could get rid of some cards. 1 and a 2 and a 3. And we can power up Restless Vinestalk and have lethal next turn, right? Do you do this for the life gain? You'd only get 4 life out of it. They are doing good on getting lands out, at least. Too bad the 7/7 goes away. Make that a 3/3. Alright, you got 1 life point left. Can we do this? Would it do any good? That is a frog. Gives me a card draw. I had nothing better to do. Gives me an untapped creature. If they don't have a board wipe... What was this? Target player draws X cards, together does X damage, and you gain X life. Down to 1 life again. They could do this and gain 5 more life again. They didn't have it. And it made more sense for me to activate my land than to bring down my creature in case they had a board wipe. All right, we're going long because I had to spend a lot of the last couple of weeks doing all sorts of different celebrations, and so this is coming out a day later than I normally planned. So we gave you a few extra running minutes of game time. We'll try and make this the last one. Most of the time we get to see forests for landfall decks. Plains is the second one we normally see. Is this just going to be the bunnies? Nope, there's landfall already. Kind of boring. 2 of our 6 drops already. Again, only 5 in the entire deck. We've already got 2 of them. Yet another landfall card, and the opponent does not miss their land drop. Ours is tapped. We'll take 2 Konas, I guess. Don't have a way to tap it, so it's going to go out unprotected. But we do have overprotect next turn, so that it can survive in a tapped position after the second phase. Opponent did not miss their land drop. I am so surprised. Of course, we let that through. And we attack. Now, how do we stop the Ouroborid? How do we stop 2 Ouroboros? The answer is with Aetherize, but that's only going to last for so long. If they get enough counters. Bingo. They kept... No. They thought about it. All of that, they have 4 untapped mana still. They lose their 27/27 Trampler. Look how well these people have been playing around our decks tonight. I missed a land drop. And, they don't have trampled there, right? Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. I guess I have to pass, because all I can do is overprotect on one of them while I chump block for 3 times. And this is another reason why I think Ouroboros is overpowered. Look, they've only got 5 lands, and they've got 3 creatures that have 26 or greater power. Oh. How many people are a little tired of playing against Landfall plus Ouroboros? It's just so constant. Come on. And they're still so scared of Aetherize. They're still only doing 1 because they can afford to be lazy and sit back with 2 additional over 100 power creatures. That's how cautious they are tonight. In the meantime, oh, they crashed. The whole game crashed. All right, we're going to end it there because the game crashed and I was going to lose anyway. That's the deck. Thanks, everybody. We'll do something different next time. Have a good one.